To this afternoon's press conference. So this is a media advisory news release for immediate release. Today's date is February 7th, 2007. And this is in response to the Chief of Police's discipline of an employee on December 14, 2016. The Special Investigative Team to investigate the December 24, 2016 incident that occurred in Agat involving the actions of Colonel Mark Charfauros has been completed. Based on the findings of this investigation and the merits of the evidence presented to me, and after the affected employee's response to me, I've rendered my decision insofar as the disciplinary action to be taken. As such, effective today, I have demoted Colonel Mark Charfauros from the rank of Colonel to the rank of Major. Be mindful that with this specific case, Major Charfauros has the right of appeal under the Civil Service Commission rules and regulations. Therefore, I will refrain from disclosing the findings of the investigation or the merits of this case and the evidence. And because there are other administrative investigations concerning this matter that are still ongoing with respect to all the affected employees, who are also entitled to due process and the rights under the Civil Service Commission's rules and regulations and the Department of Administration's rules and regulations, I will also refrain from releasing any further details concerning this case or any other administrative investigations, as they are all classified employees and have such rights. In ending, as your Chief of Police, I remain steadfast and committed with the men and women of the Guam Police Department and our community partners in finding meaningful solutions to the challenges that we face with securing safer communities on our island. And that starts with holding the officers of this department, both sworn and civilian, accountable for their conduct both on and off duty, with ensuring that we provide professional police services. At this point, are there any questions?
When does Major Charfauros return to duty?
At this point, his date of return to duty is on the 23rd of February. I believe it's the 23rd.
And by then we can also expect the findings from the second investigation to be released?
That's correct.
You can't disclose what that investigation is relative to?
Because it's an ongoing investigation. I cannot release the merits of that case. So I cannot discuss that.
Can you say how many employees are involved in that particular investigation?
Well, we're taking a look at the officers that responded to the incident that occurred that evening. So we're looking at the actions of all the officers that were on duty that night. And that night in question, I don't have the exact number, the count of the police officers, but all the officers on duty were summoned down to the precinct, or to the incident, the call.
Shortly after being placed on administrative leave, Charfauros came on to KUAM saying that, the officers didn't have probable cause, that there was no reason to search the homes. Were you able to find probable cause, or will the people in those homes face possible charges or arrests?
Well, again, that portion of the investigation we're still looking into, so I can't really speak to that particular point. Again, that's still an active investigation. That portion of the investigation is still ongoing, so I'm not able to make comment at this point.
Have you spoken with Major Charfauros before this?
I have not. I have not.
Is he aware that he's been demoted?
He is aware, yes.
Has he indicated whether he has any intention to appeal the decision?
He has not indicated that to us at this point in time.
Can you give us an idea of what a demotion entails for a police officer from colonel to major? Does that include a cut in their salary? What does that mean for them?
It does. So in taking a look at the Major Charfauros' previous pay grade, he stood at a certain pay grade. That pay grade and step escapes me at this particular point. However, because there was a demotion, he has obviously been reduced in that, and the Department of Administration rules and regulations specifically indicate the authority that I have in reducing what his pay grade and step are. So I've made that decision. So he has, in effect, been reduced not only in his rank but in his salary as well.
What about his duties within the department? Will he be moving from his current department to another, or does he stay in the same?
Well, because he's been reduced from the rank of colonel to major, the rank of colonel is specific to that of the police commander. Because of the fact that he has been reduced at this point, I will need to sit and confer with my staff as to where exactly I will be placing Colonel Charfauros upon his return from administrative leave.
He was just promoted last year to commander or colonel, right?
Yes.
So will anyone else be up for that promotion? Or?
At this point in time, again, I need to take a look at that. There's a couple of different factors to take a look at that. Our manning situation. So as we take a look at that entire situation, I'll be making that decision at some point in the future as to whether we are going to fill that position, and if we are going to fill it, how quickly we're going to fill that position.
Was your decision to demote Major Charfauros based on the advice given to you by the investigating agencies? Because I know that GFD, DOC, and there's one other agency that did the joint investigation.
No, they provided the investigation. They simply reported to me what the merits of the case were, what the findings of the case were. The decision to reduce Colonel Charfauros to the rank of major was my decision based on what the Department of Administration rules and regulations indicate that what authorities I have as the Chief of Police in rendering this kind of final adverse action.
How often has GPD effectuated a demotion?
I would say in recent history, I think we've only demoted 2 other officers. Again, the exact numbers I don't have available at this point, but I can think it's not a whole there are not a whole lot of officers that have been reduced in rank, have been demoted in rank. So I'm not exactly sure as to the number, but in recent history there has not been a lot.
Can we speak more about the external agencies that were investigating Charfauros, and maybe are they someone same group will activate in future investigations involving a police officer?
So will I leverage the support or the help of other law enforcement entities and their internal affairs investigations? The answer to that is there's probably a better than good chance. Again, the whole reason why I made the decision to seek the support of an external agency is to maintain transparency in government, so that there is no perception of any type of impropriety, so that there is no type of there's no perception of a cover-up, if you will. We took entities who are outside of the Guam Police Department, who are part of the public safety community on our island, and have leveraged their internal affairs sections to be able to take a look at this. So in doing this, again, we look at transparency in government. We look to so that there is no perception of impropriety. That's the reason why we've leveraged them. Can we leverage them in the future? Absolutely. Can those other entities leverage the assistance of the Guam Police Department? That's happened before as well, where other agencies have asked the Guam Police Department to come in and assist in administrative investigations. So we help each other out in that regard. And in this particular case, it was done to, again, relieve any perception of any type of impropriety and still maintain transparency in government.
The reason why this case became so popular was because of the body camera footage that circulated afterwards. What's the status of GPD's, regulations on body cameras? Is that personal choice? Again, this was a personally owned body camera, from my understanding.
So again, that portion of the investigation with regards to the use of the body cam is still under investigation. What I will tell you is that we have drafted unit directives under Operations Bureau that specifically outline the use of body-worn cameras. We are coming up with a general order. We are coming up with policy and procedure for the use of body cameras, whether they are personally owned or whether they are issued by the Guam Police Department. We are working towards establishing the policy for that. So those are all actions we're working towards at this point.
You mentioned that you are looking into the policies or drafting policy for the body cam. What about in any other aspect within the Guam Police Department? any changes to your policy in terms of how to handle potential situations like what happened that evening?
Well, what happened that with regards to a personnel, an employee's conduct, the rules and regulations, the general orders of the Guam Police Department are already in place. So based on those rules and regulations, and based on the rules and regulations indicated in from the Department of Administration, those govern our conduct both on and off duty. I don't see that there is a need at this point to make any changes to the regulations. The regulations are steadfast. I think it's appropriate with regards to how our officers are to maintain themselves, how to conduct themselves, whether they're on or off duty.
Going back to body cameras, how many officers are we aware of wear personally owned body cameras?
At this point, I'm not aware exactly of the number. However, I will tell you that we have given a directive that until such time that we develop the policy so that we clearly understand how it is to be used. We have indicated at this point that our officers, if it's a personally owned body camera, that they will not use those cameras until we come up with this policy.
So they are not to use body cam at this time?
That is correct, until we come up with this policy.
Again, how long has Charfauros been with the force? Are you familiar?
The colonel has been in the...
Major.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Creature of habit there. I know he's been in well over 20 years. I can tell you that much. The exact amount of government service that he has escapes me at this particular point, but I do know that he does have over 20 years of government service.
Sorry, back to body cameras. You never said how many were personally owned body cameras, at least prior to the ban on body cameras until the policy is concrete. I'm
aware that two of our employees did have body cameras, but again, we've asked those employees that until such time that we've developed the policy so that it's very clear on exactly how we are going to use this, the body-worn cameras, we've asked them to refrain from using those cameras.
Both are personal body cameras?
That's correct.
Sorry, did you give any timelines for the policies?
At this point, we're taking a look at it. So no, I have not placed a timeline on it at this particular point, but we are working very diligently to resolve this matter and be able to come up with that policy much sooner versus later.
I do have a question outside
Yes.
of Major Charfauros.
Okay.
The Guam Police Department just a few days ago or a couple weeks ago did a drug raid on a residence in Denver where they found thousands of prescription pills.
Mm-hmm.
And although the suspects were arrested in that case, I was just wondering if GPD is conducting any further investigations to determine where the pills came from. That's a fairly substantial amount of pills.
That case is still ongoing, and there are leads towards a location and more suspects. So at this point in time, we can't comment any further other than it's still ongoing.
I'm sorry again to press you about body cameras. We only know of John Edwards. We only know of Officer John Edwards who wears a body camera. Are you able to say who is the other officer? And if not, are they both stationed? Are they both at Southern Precinct Command?
I don't have that information. I was briefed that there are two of our employees that have personally owned body cameras. Outside of that, I've not been briefed by my staff as to who the other officer is or where that officer is assigned. So I wouldn't be able to comment to that.
Sorry, so your first name?
Captain Sonny Castro.
Yes. Captain Castro is the Bureau Chief for Investigations Bureau. So it is the officers assigned to Criminal Investigations Division that were part of that, yes, okay. Investigating that particular case.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any more questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes. I'd just like to close with commenting that, again, in the Guam Police Department, we work very diligently to ensure that our officers our officers, our civilian employees all act accordingly. And as such, we maintain accountability in that. And that as earlier today, I just provided a presentation to the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay, and I mentioned and talked about community-oriented policing in the Guam Police Department in here and how we police our community. I want to ensure the people of Guam that the public and the trust and the confidence that we are working to establish all is in play at this point. We hold our officers, our civilian employees accountable for their actions because we do have to maintain this trust in the Guam Police Department. So to that point, I want to assure the people of Guam, I want to assure the public that we will continue to maintain accountability of all our personnel, and that should there be any incidents that come up, that we will do our part. And we're diligent about looking into these matters, maintaining a very professional standard, and continuing with that trust and bond with the people of Guam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're just joining us, this is the presidential